What's up, guys? So today I want to show you a lapel choke I like to do from Side Control. I've heard it called the ninja choke. I'm not sure if that's what it's really called, but I heard that and I liked it, so that's what I call it. So check it out. So the first thing I like to do is pin this arm right here that's framing on me. Whenever I'm in Side Control, I like to either pin this arm or I like to isolate this arm. For this choke in particular, I like to pin it. So first thing we're gonna do is pin this arm. So I usually do that by just grabbing the wrist and then bringing my leg over her arm. And I kind of just staple it with my shin so she can't use this arm or turn away from me. The next thing I like to do is grab her own lapel, and then I feed that to this hand right here, and I get a really strong cross face. My goal is to make her head face this way, so she's looking away from me. I don't want her to be looking into me like this. So I'm gonna use this strong anchor point I have with this lapel, and then my shoulder pressure to turn her head away from me. The next thing I'm gonna do is grab my own lapel. I like to grab the far lapel, so not this one that's closest to your partner, but the one that's farthest away. And now, usually the person's gonna be framing on me, so it should be pretty easy to just loop this lapel right through this little hole they have here. You shouldn't have a problem getting it through. And so I'm just gonna go through that little hole, and then I'm gonna trade the lapel off to my other hand right here. And I like to grab it, like just grab a fistful of it. I want this lapel to be a clean surface on her neck to cut across to get the choke. So I don't wanna grab it all sloppy like this. I like to grab it and make a clean kind of cutting lapel, right, like this. And now I'm gonna start making my angle for the choke. This hand is gonna go to the hip so I can block her from following me. What the heck? So my other hand is gonna go to the hip so I can block her from following me. So I'm just gonna turn so you guys can see what I'm saying. So we'll turn this way. Like this. So I've already fed the lapel through to my other hand. So now this hand is free to block her hip. And I do this so that whenever I start cutting the angle to get the choke, so that exactly she can't move her hips like this. So I want to block her hips from being able to do that. So this hand's just blocking. And then now I'm going to use my head to block right here. And then I'm just going to kind of extend my arm so that my shoulder is on her stomach, so that the lapel kind of slips under her chin like this. I don't want to be wrenching her neck up like this. So that's why I kind of want to extend my arm so that her head is, it's not going to be completely on the mat, but it's not going to be just like giving her like neck pain. So I want to actually get a choke. I don't want to just be cranking on the neck. So I'm going to extend a little bit, and then I'm just going to pull the lapel like across her neck. So my arm is kind of rowing to tighten up the choke. I'm here. My first step is to pin the arm because right now she's framing on my hip, and I don't want her to be able to make space and recover her guard. So my first step is to pin this arm so I can get rid of that frame. And I really like to use this arm pin even when I go for other submissions because it stops her from being able to turn away from me. So if Rachel tried to turn away, I have her arm pinned, so it gives me some extra control. So I know the only thing she can really do is turn into me, right? So that's my first step, just for more control. I'm gonna pin that arm. And now the other thing I like to do, this isn't a necessary step, but I find that it makes the position more secure. I like to, instead of just grabbing forefingers in the armpit to have a nice side control, I'll feed her lapel to that hand. And now I feel like I have an even more secure side control. You can see this is sort of going into her armpit as well. So this is gonna make it more difficult for her to be able to turn into me and use this arm to like turn in and get the underhook and that kind of thing to try to recover. So I like to use this grip. I feel like it makes my side control more secure. And now I feel like since I'm pinning the arm so she can't turn this way, and I have this extra security with this lapel feed on the other side, I can use this hand to dig for my own lapel, and I'm not as afraid of her escaping. She can still be framing on my face, but if I keep her head turned away from me like this, so you see how her face isn't turned towards me, I'm making her face turn away from me, it's gonna be hard for her to turn into me. So I'm not super concerned. She can frame on me, that's fine. I just need to keep a heavy cross face and keep this control I have. So now I'm gonna start digging for my own lapel. And if she's turned away from me like she should be, she shouldn't really be able to see what I'm doing, right? So it's gonna be kind of a surprise when they start feeling the lapel go around their neck. So with all this control, now I'm gonna start feeding the lapel through. And now you can pass it off to this hand quickly. This is gonna be like a moment where you're gonna have to be a little quicker. And now I'm gonna make sure it's flush against her neck by pulling it. I don't want it to be on her jawline. I want it to be flush against her neck. And now watch what my shoulder does. This is an important detail that I see people mess up a lot. Watch what my shoulder does as I turn the angle. I'm not keeping it by her head. I'm extending my arm a little bit and putting it on her chest, just like this. I don't want to keep it by her head and just be doing this. This isn't going to be as strong a choke. They might still tap because it's kind of a neck crank, but I want to make it a clean choke. So I want to go here, extend, but I'm not making space when I extend. I'm extending the arm and I'm putting my shoulder on her chest. And then the other hand is blocking the hip, like I said before. And then my head is gonna take over the job of what my hand was doing. So let's look at the other side real quick. So I'm here, that's the lapel. I can feel that it's flush against her neck. I'm here, my hand is blocking. Now my head is gonna block right here. I'm gonna sprawl so that I don't leave any space. And I'm just gonna row the lapel until she taps. If I need to, I can continue going north-south to make it even tighter, and I can start going to the other side. But normally, if you're just here, and then you start pulling on the lapel like this, like you're doing a dumbbell row, so that it's bringing the lapel across her neck, it's gonna be enough to make them tap. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you like what you saw, it helps me out if you give me a follow, and see you next time. 1, 2, 3.